if you hate each other and you can't even do an election properly,
yeah,
guess what that is?
Define that for me.
That is civil war, my friend. That is the
You're
beginnings
exactly right.
of civil war.
You're exactly right. That article that I sent you, that was forwarded to me by my father, and I read that, and I mean, man, if that didn't strike fear in you, and all these liberals, like I was bored today, and I was actually on YouTube and watching some videos of Antifa because that just entertains the shit out of me.
Oh, sure.
And I'm like, I watch these guys, and they all got a big mouth on them, and this and doing that, and at one point, some dudes that called themselves patriots, God bless their soul, they had enough of it and took some steps towards these Antifa kids. They're not kids; they're young adults. But these idiots ran into a little fucking grocery store to find a safe haven. They wanted to run their mouth when it came time to get with it. Well, then they ran in there and hid behind aisles of food and shit.
They pulled their fucking yellow stress card out of their pocket. You can't touch me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then there was a big Samoan dude that just started cleaning their clocks, and that was funnier as shit. I mean,
that's the cool part about Samoan and a lot of the island people is all they want to be is more part of the U.S. than what they actually are, and the Republicans get that, and the Democrats don't, so they tend to sway more blue than they do red, right?
Right, yeah.
Makes sense. You get those people over here, especially a big old Samoan motherfucker, and Antifa wants to get in his way, you ain't nothing but a set of fucking bowling pins to this motherfucker.
Oh, this guy proved it too. He dotted two of them smooth out. Just one punch on the chin, and they were both done. But they do really brave things, like when the shit hits the fan, they make sure they have women with aluminum bats at the front line. I'm like, hides behind a girl that weighs 115 pounds. Like, what is the message you're trying to get out there?
Well,
like, what are you trying to show
how many
people?
fucking people are going to hide behind Omar?
Oh man, that broad scares the shit out of me. I'm gonna tell you right now, when a district in this country elects somebody to Congress who has ties to CARE, and it's already been proven CARE has ties to Hamas. I mean, it's not a race thing. I had somebody tell me, I voiced my opinion about Omar, and somebody told me that I was a racist. It has nothing to do with her race. I just don't like people that are sympathetic towards terrorism. Those are the people I have a fucking problem with. And she spent time trying to get a sentence reduced to, I think it's 4 guys that were caught trying to join ISIS. She's lobbying to have their sentence reduced. I mean, are we wanting to be, that's how bad we're wanting to be diverse in this country? Like, that should scare the shit out of people.
It scares the shit out of me.
I mean, we literally got a woman in our Congress right now that has sympathy for terrorist organizations. Jesus Christ. Like, when does this stop? But by God, we're going to impeach Trump. I mean, come on. We got bigger problems than this.
Omar just needs some D. She needs some down south D. That's what it is. Just some down south.
Oh, from down
D.
south, you think?
Yeah, some down south D.
Donnie's from the south.
Hey, Donnie, would you fuck her?
Yes, you would.
Would you? Of course you would.
Yeah, that mullet would catch her eyes. I told you. Hashtag keep the mullet.
Yeah,
Donnie's not in the mood for our shit tonight.
No, he's not. She could hold each side of your mullet like she's hanging on to dead man switches.
Donnie getting pegged by Omar. Oh, Donnie, we love you. It's okay, buddy. Oh,
God, he's going to quit. Don't walk out. We need you.
Yeah.
Besides,
I will give it. Donnie provides us with facts. Donnie's a good fact finder.
All this shit we talk about and stuff that we just go from boom to boom to boom to boom to keep this an hour show, it is on that man back there in the control booth, and he does an excellent job.
Yeah, we give him a lot of shit, but we couldn't do this without Donnie and the mullet.
And he kept the mullet.
He did keep the mullet for another week. The mullet's got another week underneath it.
And he said he's not going to take it off until we get a Hot Pocket girl.
That's right. Which means, you're not cutting it till we get a Hot Pocket girl.
And which means he may never cut his hair ever. Because
I want a picture of a girl in the Hot Pocket tank and Donnie in a super tree together.
Oh, breakfast in America.
Yes.
That's the
Now we're
Supertramp
talking.
album. You give the Hot Pocket away at 4 a.m. before the fucking sun comes up. That is Breakfast in America. Do you hear it, people? Breakfast in America.
Fucking alarms going off everywhere.
Well, it's time to take my fucking Omar pill.
Yeah, no shit, man. I tell you what, man, I'm not joking. It does scares the ever living shit out of me. And the fact that she got elected to Congress, just I can't make sense of that. Like, oh, you're sympathetic.
Of course, there's a lot of people that can't make sense about Trump being elected president either, and I'll give them that. But you know, your first words, literally, as a congresswoman, one of your first words was "fuck."
Yeah, that's classy as shit.
Wow.
I mean, I cuss a lot.
I get it now. That chick that was on the Women's March, fuck you, you fucking fuck.
Oh,
they must be in bed together.
Well, yeah, she's just following the example that Miss Omar has provided for. I mean, yeah, I can't, dude. I see her on the news every day, and I'm just, God, I can't believe this doesn't scare people. Like, I wonder if the people in Minnesota are like, oh shit, or are they like, hell yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Oh, we thought she was American Indian.
Yeah, God. What was that? What's her face? That one Congress lady that claimed to be American Indian.
Oh God, I can't think of her name. That's right. She said she was Cherokee.
Cherokees went, yeah, no, she's not.
Yeah, home base for the Cherokees is literally about 30 miles from my house, and they all in one collective voice said, "Ha, no."
That white bitch ain't part of us.
Nope. Try some other tribe.
Good on them, man, because the American Indians, man, they got a lot of respect for themselves, and they got a lot of culture they need to protect, and they don't need people like that trying to jump on their bandwagon.
No, and I'd love to jump on their bandwagon because I have a nose like a fucking Osage, and I have skin like an Osage, and my head's shaped like an Osage, and I look like about half the fucking Osage tribal council. But I can't prove it.
Well, then there's that. I mean,
I can't prove a thing. And I don't want the benefits. I would kind of like to have a home. You know what I mean? Like this is where I come from. These are my people.
That's one thing, man, about the tribes that I've always admired. I mean, yeah, a lot of it's a shitty history, like what white people did to them when they got here is really shitty. But man, they've got such an interesting history, and just their culture is so fascinating. I wish I came from a culture that was like that. Like that'd be something to be like super proud of, which they are. I mean, and more power to
them. Yeah, if they didn't have it, they figured it out or they made it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just intriguing as all fucking get out to me.
And they were all about conservation.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it comes to buffalo population and everything, they were all conservation. Most of your movies and history books get it wrong. They're like the Indians slaughtered all the buffalo. No, wrong.
That's not how that happened.
The white people slaughtered all the buffalo.
Well, yeah, they were taking trains out west, and they were buffalo fucking trains. I mean, the Indians weren't riding trains doing that shit.
No. So, anyways, going back, I'd like to have a home because I don't know who I belong, I don't know where I belong. Maybe I need to take one of this fucking DNA. Hey, one of your DNA tests, come sponsor the podcast. I want to take one of your.
Pay our bills.
Exactly. And
let's find out where the fuck Tiddy comes from.
Speaking of paying our bills, spunklube.com, people. Best lube on the planet, bar none. Used it the other day again.
How'd that come out for you?
It came out really good.
No pun. Freddie can't come.
Yeah, Freddie can't come.
Yeah,
it ran like a motherfucker till it saw the light, and then it hit the brakes and just accidentally.
Boom.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal. If you guys go to spunklube.com and you order some product from them, if you enter in the discount code at checkout, Hot Pocket, you will get 10% off, courtesy of the Tiddy and Shiner Show and the great people at spunklube.com.
Absolutely. We thank them for their participation in the podcast. This helps us get the podcast to you. And there's other ways that you're able to get some information on the podcast, outside of the podcast, at T&S Show on Twitter, T&A&D-S Show on Twitter, Tiddy, Tiddy _and_Shiner on Instagram, The Tiddy and Shiner Show on Facebook and on YouTube, And Tiddy and Shiner Show at gmail.com. Don't forget it's Tiddy, not Titty. The name is Tidwell, not Tiddy.
Oh, you can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify.
Yep. And on any of your Amazon device, Spreaker,
we're
YouTube,
everywhere, man.
And soon to be, and I'm hoping this drops anytime because I've been waiting on the approval, iHeart Radio.
You can't get away from us, man. Like,
No.
We're everywhere.
Fuck no. Even if you got yoga pants and a brand new set of fucking kids, you're not outrunning us.
Hey, let's I saw an interesting news story this week. It involved a game of Russian roulette. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. As a matter of fact, one of your favorite things on the planet to do, there's a movie called that, The Deer Hunter. And
oh, yeah.
In one of the scenes was Russian Roulette.
Mm-hmm. Man, I haven't seen that movie in a...
That's a great movie. Great movie.
Well, but the way that this played out in St. Louis with these two police officers, it sounds like they were playing an altered version of Russian Roulette.
Okay, hit me.
Apparently, I guess they take a revolver and put a round in, and instead of putting the gun to their head and pulling the trigger themselves, apparently the story plays out that they were pointing it at each other and pulling the trigger. Like, that doesn't sound like Russian Roulette to me. That sounds like a game of Let Me Murder You.
Yeah, it's like, I kind of want you to die, but not really. But if it happens, okay, but you got 5 out of 6 chances it's not going to happen.
Odds are on your side.
Yeah.
But,
well, it wasn't for this chick.
No, she gets 86th. They play a round of this, and she bites it and gets 86th. And the first time I heard this story described, the news person describes it as a tragic event. I don't think there's anything tragic when there's that much stupidity involved. I think tragic's a pretty powerful word to use when there's that much common sense not being fucking used.
Idiocracy.
Yeah, I mean, and apparently they're both new-ish officers to the department. So my question is, do they just skip class today on firearm safety or what? I mean, that just sounds, even on paper, that's not a good idea.
No. I get aim at the thorax, but Jesus.
Well, if they haven't, I'm assuming they're going to file murder charges on this police officer. There has to be more to the story. Like, she had to be the side piece that was talking about blowing the whistle on the deal. There has to be more to this story.
There's got to be.
I mean,
there's got to be. I don't.
I mean, I default to a side piece getting out of control.
Well, I mean, the dude's lawyer calls it a tragic accident. I call it a tragic on purpose.
Yeah. That was the fruition of some really bad decisions that were. I wonder how much alcohol is involved. I've been really, really, really fucking drunk, but I don't think there's ever been a time I've been so drunk that you could have showed up and been like, "Hey, Shiner, I got this revolver in this one round. Here's what we're going to do." And I'd have been like, okay, I'm on board. And I've been real drunk. I just don't know how you talk somebody into doing this.
I don't either. And you know, well, of course, I'll say the sad part about it. It's sad anyways. She was a good solid 7, dude.
Yeah, she was. I mean, if you go on, like, if you convert that to like female police officer scale, she was more like an 8.5.
Oh, yeah. Now, if you're talking just women in police uniforms, 8.5, 9.
Which I'm not saying by any means women in law are not attractive women. They can be very intimidating. So you got to judge them on a different scale.
Right.
You know, because those women, those alpha females that wear that uniform, you can't turn your back on them for a second.
I mean, why didn't she just do whips and chains?
Yeah. I mean, it seems like there was a whole lot of things that were skipped in this process. We just jumped right to a revolver in one round. I mean, man, can you imagine the chaos that happened immediately after that fucking round was fired?
Yeah, and apparently, now this is something I just got the bottom of. She is prior military.
Oh, that's right. I did read that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she should have known better on a number of fronts.
Either that, or there was some PTSD stuff at work that, and you know what? That's probably what it was.
Well, there's the defense right there.
Yeah, if both of them ex-military, this probably could be way deeper than just playing Russian roulette. This is I don't want to fucking live like this, but I don't want to kill myself.
Man, you just developed a hell of a fucking defense